It's been 1 week since my surgery. Had my tubes removed to prevent pregnancy. Full-length song coming soon. No. Hello, friends. We have a lot to talk about. So yes, it has been 1 week since I had surgery. I had a bilateral salpingectomy, which means I had my fallopian tubes removed, which is a form of permanent birth control. And I also had my IUD swapped out. If you saw my last video talking about this, I do go over a lot of different things about that procedure, but that was filmed a week before my surgery, and this is being filmed a week after my surgery. First of all, thank you so much for all of your support, for all of your kind messages, for those of you who have shared your own stories and experiences, and to those who have sent me money to help pay my hospital bills. I appreciate each and every one of you so much. I did not expect this video to get the amount of response that it got. Like, I knew it was going to be a topic people might want to hear about, but I had no idea it was going to be this big of a discussion topic. And that makes my heart so happy, because women's health is notoriously under-discussed. And to be clear, when I use the word women in this topic of discussion, I'm talking about people who are assigned female at birth, people who have traditionally female reproductive organs. But I am not saying that all AFAB people identify as women. But yeah, this is something that is not discussed enough, so I am so happy that my video has opened up this conversation and that so many people have shared their own stories. Y'all are amazing. But let's get to it because we have a lot to talk about. First of all, we're going to talk about what my surgery was like, and I will give a disclaimer that I am going to talk about a lot of stuff. So if it's uncomfy for you to hear about women's reproductive health or about surgery stuff or medical stuff, maybe skip this one. But this is going to be the part that is specifically for those of you who want to know what this process was like, maybe because you're thinking about having it done yourself, or you know somebody else who is, or maybe just because you're curious. But whatever your reason is, here is my experience of having a laparoscopic bilateral salpingectomy, also known as having your fallopian tubes removed. With IUD swap, I mentioned my reasons for having the surgery in the previous video. This is going to be talking about my actual experience. Also, I should mention, this was my first ever surgery. I had never had surgery prior to this, so part of this is going to be a first-time surgery experience kind of thing. I'm also a very anxious person. I have an anxiety disorder, so I tend to follow directions really well when they're given to me by medical professionals, because I am really anxious that if I don't, something will go wrong. So in the couple weeks before I had surgery, I was doing all of my surgery prep. So in addition to the anxiety I already had about this particular surgery and about it being my first surgery, I was also pretty anxious about doing all of the things right so I didn't mess it up. But I can say for certain that the week before surgery was the most anxious I have been in quite a while. After the surgery, doing much better.